Hey everyone, today I am back doing another video. This video is going to be a story time about how I saw a ghost. Now, of course, I'm not like 100% sure that I actually saw a ghost. Like, I don't have any like proof of it, but I really feel like this situation, like what I saw, was a ghost just because there's no other explanation for it. And I've actually had like previous paranormal experiences. I think like I've seen like little like flying type orb things, which that could be, I don't really know how to explain that, but like that in the back of my mind, like, oh my god, like I was thinking like, oh my god, like that's a ghost, but then again, like I wasn't like totally like sure because I didn't like actually see like a real figure or anything like that. And I remember another time when I was younger, the house we lived in when I like first grew up in, like as like a child, and then we moved out of that house when I was like 5 or 6, but anyways, I remember always seeing like a little green guy. Like he was really tiny, like maybe that big, maybe a little bit bigger, but and I would always call him a leprechaun because he was all green, like totally green, and it was like a real figure. Even though he was really small, it was a real figure, like a man. And he had like a really long coat on, maybe like almost like a trench coat. And he had sort of like boots on, like little pointy boots, and he had like a really wide brimmed hat on. And he was completely green, and I couldn't see his face. Like he had a face, but there was no like facial features on him. Like I remember this clear as day, even as a little child seeing him. And I would always tell my mom and my sister that about this little green leprechaun. And I remember in our house, like upstairs, there was like a little hallway, and like that's where like all of our like bedrooms were. Like there was like bedrooms right here, and then that little hallway, if you know what I mean. And I would just sit at the end of that hallway and just look out, because that's where I would always see him. I would see him start at like the end of the hallway, and he would walk towards me, like where I was sitting, and then he would turn around and go back. And when he got to the end of the hallway the second time, that's when he would disappear. And that's the only area I saw him, and he would walk really, really slow. And again, I saw this when I was like a child. Maybe it was my imagination, because kids just have some kids have a really like wild imagination, and like sometimes they'll tell their parents or they'll tell some people that they like saw something and it wasn't really real, but like with their imagination they can see those things. So I don't know if that's like what was happening to me, because like I said, I was a young child, like I was like 3 or 4, but I would always tell my mom and my sister about this little green leprechaun. So anyways, those are kind of like my past paranormal experiences. Again, I don't really believe in those as much, that those were actual like ghosts. But this time, the story I'm about to tell you guys I think was a true paranormal experience. Like I actually saw a ghost or some sort of entity that wasn't human, wasn't living, if that makes any sense. And like I said, I can't be 100% sure because I don't have any like actual proof. All I know is it's what I saw, and I truly believe it was a ghost. So anyways, with that long intro out of the way, I will just go ahead and get started in this story about how I saw a ghost. So if you would like to hear this story, then just keep on watching. Alright, so this particular time happened about a year and a half ago, and I was at my boyfriend's house. And this was actually like Monday morning technically. I was staying the night at my boyfriend's house, as I usually do, like every other weekend. And I was sleeping, obviously, and I woke up around like 6:30, 6:45-ish. And I don't know, I just woke up out of nowhere, because I just tend to do that. But I woke up and I couldn't really go back to sleep. Like I was still kind of tired, but I basically just laid there because my alarm was going to go off in like less than an hour anyways, because I had to get up Monday morning for class. And so I was just kind of laying there. It was dark, obviously, because my boyfriend was still sleeping and everyone in the house was still sleeping. So I was just kind of laying in bed and, not really doing anything, just doing thinking, because there was really nothing else to do. I was just laying there. And I was kind of laying on my side, and I turn onto my back. As I'm turning onto my back, I was like sleeping on like this like sleeping bag thing on the floor. And I turn on my back, and my head is facing like this way. And in my view, in my boyfriend's room, you have his closet right here, and then his door to go like in and out of his room. And so I turn over onto my back, and I'm obviously facing that way. My eyes are open because I'm wide awake, can't sleep. And I guess it wasn't like pitch black, like it was dark, obviously, but it was starting to get a little bit light. Like through the windows you could see a little bit light because it was like 6:45-ish, so the sun was sort of starting to come up. So it was a little light. Like I could see, if there was a window there, I could see some light coming from it, if that makes any sense. And outside like my boyfriend's room, there's like a living area in the basement, and then there's like a slider over here, which that lets in a good amount of light. So here's my boyfriend's door, and the slider's over here, and then light's coming, this way, if that makes any sense. So anyways, I'm looking out that way, and I see a man standing in my boyfriend's doorway. And he's just standing there, and I can see it's a man, but I can't see any like specific features like on his face or anything, because like I said, it's still dark. Even though there is a tiny bit of light coming from the outdoors, it's not enough light that I can see any specific features. It's only enough light for me to see that there is a man standing there. And my first thought was I was not scared. I didn't have any weird feelings by the man or figure in the doorway. My first thought, actually, it was my boyfriend's dad, because it actually looked just like him, like the same height and basically like the same like outline. I don't know. It just looked just like him. So I thought it was him. And I especially thought it was him because at the time my boyfriend was working with his dad. Like his dad has his own business. And my boyfriend's dad would usually wake my boyfriend up for work. So that's what I thought he was doing. I thought he was coming downstairs to wake my boyfriend up, and I don't really know why he was standing there. And that's what I'm thinking the entire time, like, why is my boyfriend's dad just standing there? And I was thinking, well, maybe it's a little too early to wake Luke up. Maybe he's just waiting a few minutes to wake him up. I don't know, but he was literally just standing there, and he was leaning like on like the door frame, and he just kind of had his arms crossed, like leaning against the doorway, and he wasn't really moving. I could kind of see him like turn his head a little bit, like he was looking behind him, but that was it. He was just standing there. There was no noise. There was nothing else going on. It was just a man standing there. And like I said, the entire time I was thinking, like, this is my boyfriend's dad. Like, what is he doing? Like, why is he just standing there? And I was thinking, like, well, maybe I should say something, let him know I'm awake. But then I was thinking, like, well, what would I say? Like, I don't know. It was just a weird situation. I had no idea what was going on. And so I was just kind of looking at this figure for like 5 or 10 minutes or so, just trying to figure out what my boyfriend's dad was doing. And then all of a sudden I hear noise upstairs. I didn't know this at the time, but that was just my boyfriend's parents getting up, because my boyfriend was in the basement and right upstairs was his parents' room, so I could hear them getting out of bed. And when I heard them get on the bed, you could hear them walking a little bit. And this figure backs up. I could still see him, but he backs up from the door frame, looks up, because the stairs were like this way. Like if my boyfriend's door is right here, the stairs were like over here, if that makes any sense. So he backs up from the door frame, this figure does, and he looks up towards the stairs. And as there's more commotion, like walking, I guess feet walking upstairs, the figure backs up even more, kind of looks towards the slider, looks back up towards the stairs, then he kind of turns to the right, or I guess it would be his left, and he walks into the bathroom. Like the stairs were, here's my boyfriend's door, the stairs are up here, and then right over here is the bathroom. So the figure was at my boyfriend's door. He like backs up a little bit and then walks towards the bathroom, into the bathroom. Right when I see the figure like get out of like the door frame, or at least from what I could see, when I could no longer see him, this door to the stairs or to the basement opens, the light turns on, and I hear someone come down the stairs. And who comes down the stairs? My boyfriend's dad, to get my boyfriend up and ready for work. And this is the moment where I was like, holy crap. Because that man that was in the doorway, I was thinking that was my boyfriend's dad the entire time. And then obviously when there was like walking going up upstairs, and he was like, this figure were like backed up and was like looking in all these directions, and I was like, what is he doing? And then he like walks into the bathroom, and I was like, okay, this is totally weird. And then all of a sudden my boyfriend's dad comes downstairs from upstairs, wasn't even in the basement the entire time. Like, I was so freaked out. Like, I didn't even know what to think. I like sat up from the floor, and I was just like, and then like my boyfriend got up and he's like, what are you doing? And I told him, I was like, oh my God, like I saw a ghost. And he was like, yeah, right, no you didn't. And I was like, yeah, I did. And then I told him everything I told you guys, like there was a man in the doorway and I thought it was his dad, but then it turned out it wasn't his dad. I don't know who that was. And he went into the bathroom. Of course, my boyfriend didn't believe me. He just blamed it on like, you know, we just woke up. You know, it was dark out, my eyes were just playing tricks on me because I just woke up, and you know, it kind of takes a little while for like your eyes to adjust if you like wake up from sleeping, if you know what I mean. So that's basically what he blamed it on. But I told him, I was like, no, I've been awake for like a half an hour, like wide awake, just laying here, and I saw this man in the doorway. I just kept telling my boyfriend that, and he just didn't believe me, but I was just so dumbfounded, so shocked, so scared, so interested, all at the same time, like, and I just couldn't get this thought out of my head for like an entire week, probably even more than a week. Like, I just was trying so hard to figure out like what I saw, who I saw, like some sort of like rational explanation of to what I saw, and like, I don't know. Obviously, I never figured it out, and I still think about it every now and then. If who I saw was an actual ghost, what if it was an actual person and I was just, maybe my boyfriend was right and it was just my eyes playing tricks on me, and like maybe there was nothing there. I don't know. But honestly, the more I think about it, like I definitely think I did see someone there or something there. Even though I thought it was my boyfriend's dad, like I had no like weird feelings that it was something bad that I saw. And honestly, it also doesn't really surprise me that I saw a ghost or like experienced paranormal experiences at my boyfriend's house, because where my boyfriend's house is, it's kind of like out in the country, and it was actually like way back in the day. It was like an Indian hospital, and there was like another legend or story that like a witch lived there as well. Yeah, there's definitely like all these like legends and stories of like what that land was before, like hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And even my own boyfriend, when he was younger, he experienced paranormal situations at that house. They were a lot worse than mine, a lot scarier than mine that I just told you. But yeah, so it definitely doesn't surprise me that I did experience what I think was a paranormal experience, that I saw like a ghost. I never experienced anything else at my boyfriend's house after this situation, and I didn't really ever experience anything beforehand. The only thing I really ever experienced before this situation at my boyfriend's house was just sleeping in his room, like by myself. Like when I first started coming there and when I first started spending the night, my boyfriend would just let me sleep in his bed, and my boyfriend would sleep like out on the couch, still downstairs, but like out on the couch. And I always like to sleep with the door shut. Like I don't like sleeping with open doors. I don't know, I'm just weird. I would obviously go to sleep with the door shut, and I quickly learned that I cannot sleep at my boyfriend's house with at least someone in the same room with me, because I don't know, the first night or the second night that I ever stayed at my boyfriend's house, like it was just so scary. Like I kept hearing like noises, like whispering. Like I would experience like dragging of feet on the carpet. I don't know. It was just a really scary situation the very first time I ever like stayed at my boyfriend's house. But other than the story I just told you guys, I guess I never really experienced any other paranormal experiences. God, I don't know if you guys just heard that, but like literally my like Siri thing on my phone just turned on without even me touching my phone. I'm just gonna finish this video because I'm like really freaking myself out now. But anyways, that is the story about how I first saw a ghost. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Also, if any of you have ever experienced a paranormal experience, if you've ever seen a ghost yourself, please make sure to leave those stories in the comments down below. I would love to hear your guys' stories. I love reading like true experiences people have had like with the paranormal and everything like that. So if you have any paranormal experiences yourself, leave those down in the comments down below. I would love to read them. And yeah, I'm gonna get going for now, but I really hope you all have a wonderful day and I will see you all in my next video. Bye everyone.